Let me just say a word of encouragement to those of you who are aiming towards missions or are now in the process of learning a language for the sake of missions, or maybe already on the field several years and still struggling with the second or third language that you have had to learn, and you're discouraged. The language seems to have hit a wall and you don't seem to be making progress. I just want to encourage you that in my experience of learning Greek and Hebrew on the way, which aren't spoken, but then learning German as a 25 to 28-year-old from scratch, went to Germany, didn't know any German, had to take Deutsch für Ausländer there. And what I found was that one of the keys to learning a language is the willingness to be a fool. The willingness to be a little child. Here you are now, you're working on a PhD, or for you may have got a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, and you go and you're learning a language and you sound like a first grader. And you want desperately not to sound stupid, not to try to say things that make you sound silly. That's just got to go. That's a gift of the Holy Spirit to be humble enough. I think the key to pressing through over and over again is to get egg on your face continually and get through and keep trying. So it became for me anyway, a very spiritual issue. Do I have the humility to deny myself, or will I constantly avoid situations where I might have to use the language in such a way that I would sound silly? So pray for the grace to be experimenting all the time and to use it. And let me just say one other thing. Language has these various barriers. You hit the nouns, you hit the verbs, you hit the clauses, you hit conversation, you hit reading at certain levels, and each one seems insurmountable. And if you'll press on by the grace of God, crying out for God's motivation, you break through that barrier and you make another headway. So really, sticking to it is the key, isn't it? I found that in my moments of greatest discouragement, crying out to God for motivation, don't let me quit, was the key. And God came through, and He's come through over and over again in all the ways where I've hit things where I felt, I can't do this. I can't make it any further. I can't grow in this. At those moments, you say, God, please help me. I need you. I believe you've called me to this. He will come through. So just don't throw in the towel. Don't walk away. Press on through. If you stay at something long enough, you're going to get good at it, good enough to do God's will in your life. He has promised He's not going to leave you without the grace to do what He's called you to do.